This is Almost 107, a Fanshawe College journalism student podcast. Get real.
Sneakers are dead. The industry is destined for collapse. No one's buying Jordans anymore. The hype is dead. Everybody's getting out of the game. They are boring. Reps are becoming more popular. Yeezy hype is gone. Toxic culture, abusive prices, overpriced. The hype beast era Adidas died. Sold its last resellers killed the game. StockX has loss of transparency. Bad quality product, decline in demand. Those are some of the headlines I found during my research of the actuality of sneakers, the hypebeast community, and its market. Hello, I am Daniel Monroy, and on this episode of Almost 107, you'll also hear, is sneaker culture dying? But has the sneaker bubble finally burst? To answer that question, we need to go through the history of sneakers. In 1839, Charles Goodyear invented vulcanized rubber, making the material commercially available for the first time. This will become a key feature for most sneakers. And until 1876, the first rubber-soled shoes were created. Just after the start of the 20th century, in 1908, the brand Converse was founded by a rubber shoe company in Boston. Going to 1964, Phil Knight and his former University of Oregon coach, Bill Bowerman, founded the shoe business Blue Ribbon Sports. 1971, Blue Ribbon Sports is renamed Nike. Just in 1984, basketball player Michael Jordan signed an endorsement contract with Nike. 1985, Air Jordan are first sold to the public. Sneakers were becoming a cultural force, shaping trends across various demographics. In 2009, a sneaker changed the game. Kanye West released the Nike Air Yeezy 1. And in 2013, the second generation version was co-designed by Kanye West and Nike creative directors, the Air Yeezy 2. The Red October Air Yeezy 2 dropped when no one thought they would see the light of day. They evoked the spirit of Kanye West's most famous sneaker design ever. A year later, in 2015, Adidas' original Ultra Boost came with an advertisement campaign that proclaimed the greatest running shoe ever. And Kanye West's Yeezy Boost 350 debuted as well. 2016, with the rise of the industry, it should come as no surprise that online markets popped up to help the fans. That is how StockX was established in Detroit, Michigan. The platform was designed to serve sneakers collectors and enthusiasts. In 2015, something changed the whole culture. American designer Virgil Abloh redesigned the Air Jordan 1, the Off-White and Air Jordan 1 High OG Chicago. It became one of the most iconic shoe collaborations. During the pre-pandemic, sneakers and minimal drops gained massive cultural traction. Resale platforms like StockX and GOAT had a boom. Scarcity plus drop culture is strong at this point. 2020 to 2022, we could call it the peak. The COVID-19 pandemic disrupts supply chains, making sneakers scarcer, which inflates hype. Resale prices go very high. Brands heavily lean into drop models and hype releases. 2022 was a high point, but after that, signs of overproduction begins showing. Just in 2023, it is estimated that sneakers generate more than 75 billion in sales worldwide. In 2024-2025, sneaker resale values are dropping and demand is cooling. Still, it's predicted that sneaker industry will reach 120 billion in 2026. In London, Ontario, we used to have a couple of sneaker stores or sneaker plugs, but most of them have shut down. There's just one standing, and its name is N4E1, not for everyone. So I decided to go there to find answers about the decline in sneaker sales. And its owner, who goes by Kish, had a lot to say.
My name is Kish, and I deal with the day-to-day operations of running N4E1.
Kish, first of all, how did you start with the store?
It was a class project. I went to Fanshawe back in 2012, business marketing. So I remember it was a project where we had to make up a business plan.
What motivated you to create this project?
At the time, 12, 13 years ago, London didn't really have a culture in terms of like fashion and whatnot. So that's what I decided, especially coming from the GTA, I decided to do my business plan.
Over the last few years, a lot of people say sneakers hype has cooled down. From your perspective, what changed?
Saturation, overproducing of certain Jordans for a couple of years, but now the game's got back more to the actual element of being a sneakerhead, I would say.
Do you feel that sneaker releases no longer have the same excitement that they once did?
They do and they don't. Now I would say more of the hype and the excitement around them depends on the release. For example, a Black Cat or a Reimagined 5 or a Playoff 12, shoes that have more significance to them.
Was there a specific moment when you noticed the hype starting to fade?
I would say as that the industry got popular, more fakes started becoming more prevalent and more available. Fakes started getting a lot better compared to how they were originally back in the day, where they were a lot easier to point out. And people are opportunists; they see an opportunity there, and hence now the fakes are getting really, really well, really good. And people are spending the money buying the fakes for $80 compared to spending $400 or $500 on the real thing. So it makes the game a little bit harder to compete nowadays.
Do you think brands played a role in killing hype through overproduction?
I can't pinpoint exactly what killed the hype. I would say, there's a lot of things that killed the whole hype beast culture. I would probably say the most notable one would be the Kanye West and whatnot, where he kind of killed the whole resale market for the Yeezy game.
How would you describe your perspective of the sneaker community today compared to 5 to 10 years ago?
My perception from the game before to now, so I've been here for 10 years. Right now, the game is a little bit how it was before the boom, where Jordans, and what I mean by that, Jordans are sitting in stores right now, shadow backboard. You can literally still go and pick those up. And that's kind of like how it was in I would say 2014 and earlier, before the boom and before the hype. So that's just kind of perspective-wise, it's kind of gone in full circle. They say in life, everything goes full circle.
In what ways have sneaker technology and materials quality influenced the downfall?
It's kind of like what's going on in life right now, whether it's Nike or you go to Wendy's, just paying more but getting less. The price of the average Air Force One, back in the day, the quality was better and you'd be paying $100 for it. Now you're paying $175 after taxes just for the same sneaker when the quality is not as good.
Has the resale market affected the accessibility of certain sneakers?
I wouldn't say so. I think the resellers, it's the yin and the yang, it's a part of the game. The fact that they're overproducing these and making the sneakers as readily available kind of kills their own buzz as well too. Mass production, people were into Nikes and Jordans because of the exclusivity. Hence our whole branding, not for everyone. It's human nature. People want what most people can't have.
What was the difference between End 41 and the rest of the sneaker stores that closed in London?
Yeah, so we were here first. I would say we were the original. Is enough for everyone? Yeah, I would say we were the originals. A lot of guys came in and left afterwards, and we're still here. We just, I think we kind of better adapted to the actual culture itself. And a lot of people were just in business because it was a trend.
What role have internet and social media played in the growth and globalization of sneaker culture?
It helped, I guess, put it more to the forefront. In terms of social media, helped get it a lot of exposure. It helped the new generation understand who Michael Jordan is. But during the hype of the boom, it was the pandemic, and that documentary came out, The Last Dance, which everyone had nothing else to do at home other than watch Netflix and whatnot, and which kind of fed into the hype, I would say.
For you, who inspired you to get into the culture?
For me personally, just from the love of basketball, I just liked my favorite player, whether it was a Penny Hardaway or, like Kobe. Me personally, I wasn't really a Jordan fan. I liked when he lost. My Michael Jordan's Kobe Bryant.
What do you think the future holds for sneaker culture?
I think it's kind of like the life it goes. Things come in style, go out of style, and come back in style. There's going to be some kind of new sneaker, some kind of new boom, or some kind of new hype that will bring the culture back a little bit.
What trends do you see emerging?
Right now, people are on more of the trainers, you know what I mean? It's not necessarily about basketball shoes. It's more about comfortable and being stylish. It's more about the healthy lifestyle, you know what I mean? So it's there are a lot more sneakers other than just Jordans. So I think the game's reverting back to the actual sneaker culture. I think that's what you're going to have to adapt to in order to survive going forward.
What pair would you say that represents the old era?
For me, it would be like an Air Jordan 6 infrared. Those I would say, because those are the sneakers for me growing up as a kid.
Do you have any conclusion of the actuality of sneakers?
I feel like the culture is dead. I just feel like a lot of people ruined it for real sneakerheads. The Black Cats, it hasn't even been 10 years. It's been 4 or 5 years since the last Black Cats came out. We all know stocks are down for them. You know what? It's bigger than the sneaker culture. It's bigger than the hypebeast game. The world is just in a place like that. Nike stocks are down. Adidas stocks are down. People just aren't, because everything's expensive. And Nike, like I said, the Jordan shoe, before us even thinking about reselling, it's $330, 350 Canadian dollars before or after taxes, all right? And I'm telling you from my experience of being here for 10 years now, people aren't spending that kind of money even on a shoe, let alone for me as a reseller. To say pay the $330, $350 to sell for $500, and even then you can't sell for $500 if the market's not going for that. And the market's affected by a lot of these panda buys, the fakes, etc., which get then passed through on these platforms, which determine the value of a sneaker.
Some of the reasons we have for now are that brands started pumping out way too many pairs. So what used to feel exclusive is now sitting on shelves. When everything's hype, nothing's hype. Resale used to drive the culture, but now resellers stop caring and the hype dies with them. Fans are getting the same shoes over and over. Same silhouettes, same colorways, same ideas. Consumers are bored. Materials got cheaper, but prices kept climbing. With inflation and higher cost of living, sneakers are on the first luxury items people cut from their budgets. Collaborations used to feel special, but now there are so many that they no longer feel important. Youth culture changed and sneaker hype faded. Fashion shifted towards minimalist shoes, non-sneaker styles like loafers, boots, and runners, or even comfort brands like Crocs. And someone who can expand on this last reason is the London-based rapper and fashion enthusiast To Divine.
What's going on, everybody? I go by the name of To Divine. I'm a rapper from the city here in London, Ontario. Part of a rap collective, Fresh Religion, and yeah, thank you for having me.
To Divine, when did you start rapping?
I started rapping, started releasing music probably about 2 years ago.
I know you are really into sneakers, so when did you start collecting shoes?
Man, I've been collecting shoes probably since I'd say really 7th grade. My mom bought me that first pair of Jordans, you know what I'm saying, for gym class, and that kind of I think I still have those. Not like they fit or anything, but just for the sentimental value.
Would you say you're still involved in the community?
I would say so, yeah. I feel like my style now is more just kind of what I like though. I'm not really collecting pieces just for the sake of collection. It's all just things that I want to rock and I want to wear.
For you, what has changed in the culture lately?
Honestly, I think a lot of people would give the same answer to say that the reps just got so good. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the I don't know if that's specifically that, but the reps. You know what I'm saying? Not that's a bad thing though. You know what I'm saying? I think it's cool. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? At the same time, I think as far as style goes, I think that's cool that we have access to now rocking everything that you want, which leaves which kind of leaves the real authentic pairs for the real sneakerheads.
Do you feel releases don't have the same event energy they used to?
I think within the sneakerhead community, up until maybe very recently, I think it still does for sure. When I graduated high school, before I went to college, I worked full-time at Foot Locker, and I remember when we released the Jordan 3, the white cements reimagined, and we're opening 8 a.m. and stuff like that, and yeah, people would be lining up, and it was kind of cool to see that that culture is still alive.
Something I found is that consumers don't want to have only one big collection of the same silhouette just with a different colorway, but people wants to have a variety of shoes and options to rock, and there are some brands joining the game. It's not just only a Nike and Adidas anymore.
I totally agree. Honestly, I think that it's not even having the sickest pair of Jordans or Yeezys anymore. It's really that variety of just the clogs, the Birkenstock clogs, the Uggs, the low Uggs. And I remember when I worked at Foot Locker, this was kind of 2023 to 24. It was kind of the dunk wave. And I feel I don't see them as much to the hype. The dad shoe wave, it's still out there when it was unique.
Going a little bit back to music, did you ever rap about sneakers?
For sure, man. Yeah, when I was working at Foot Locker, and I'm just kind of, it's a slow day. I'm in my head, kind of writing some music, folding some T-shirts. You know how it goes. I might look around the room and write a little lyric about this, this shoe. It definitely finds its way into my music.
How would you describe the community compared to now and the past?
I would say that the shoes that are really, really popular are just kind of not the statement pieces anymore of an outfit. I think maybe back then it used to be who cares what you got on? You got the Jordan 11s or whatever, but I feel now it's more to compliment
In your experience, how have sneakerheads changed?
I consider myself a sneakerhead, but like some of the things that they would do, sometimes I'd be like, "Man, I can't. This like I know they'd be like when a new pair would come out, they the term double up. Oh, I gotta double up on these, and there's like half the check. It's like they got the new pair to wear and the new pair to just keep in the closet. It's just clean. Nobody wears it. I'm not gonna lie. I still have a few pairs that are like I'll wear them occasionally, but not on a rainy day. You feel me? Yeah, very very special occasions. Just to keep clean. But like right now, I try to rock everything.
Do you feel the resale market affected the accessibility of sneakers?
I think it definitely did kill the hype at some point, but I would actually argue that it at one point in the culture it added to it. I would say, which I know that might be kind of like a hot take, but I think that's what made the Yeezys at the time. I know right now we don't got but at the time Yeezys that was a big deal. You know what I'm saying?
What is a top pair that you have in your collection?
Well, I have a pair of the Belugas, Yeezy Belugas. I have my favorite pair of shoes. I have probably Jordan 4 Oreos. I got Jordan 1 Lost and Founds. I've got a pair of the Off-White Lot Dunks. Some of them, I've got a few more, a lot more Yeezys that I just don't really wear anymore. No, the 350s. It's just tough to like, Kanye will say something really crazy and I'm like, man, I gotta put the Yeezys away for now. It's like, I can't be caught wearing these.
Do you think overproduction killed the hype because if everyone can have it, it's not hype anymore?
As far as hype goes, I definitely would say that it would not be as hyped. Hype is, that's to do with like exclusive products and stuff and things that are, the more you mass produce an item and the more accessible it is to people, it's great because everybody can have it, but it does make the significant item less rare and less valuable.
Do you think collaborations are not getting the same traction anymore?
I just think the bar has been set in the past and we haven't reached the bar yet. I think that it'll continue, the collaborations will continue to happen, but when the time comes and something breaks through, it'll break through. I just feel like we haven't got there yet.
We have tons of places where to get shoes now. For you, where do you get your pairs now?
And honestly, like if it's a very specific pair that like I know I want, probably like online, like eBay.
Lastly, how would you describe the sneaker culture tied to music?
But yeah, I think that music, especially hip hop, and I think streetwear is just a part of hip hop culture, and it's all just like it's all one big culture, and it's just like a cool to contribute and be a part of it. So yeah, we'll be in the lab working on that. Yeah, we're just working on singles under the name Two Divine.
But even if the sneaker game feels dead right now, it's not gone for good. Every culture goes through cycles. This might just be the reset, clearing out the hype so real creativity can come back. And if something is sure, is that sneakers aren't disappearing. They're just waiting for their next spark. Thanks for listening. I am Daniel Monroy. Find other episodes of Almost 107 on our website 1069dx.com or subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.